Concord's immediate death has caused so many meltdowns within the gaming industry over the past couple of days, from developers to community managers to activists in the mainstream media. And now, of course, the Alan Wake 2 senior community manager is calling for bigots to be removed from gaming communities for praising the fact that Sony shut this title down. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I have not really seen anybody saying they miss Concord or they're sad that Concord is going down, except for people within the industry who seemingly have ties to Sony, or people who want to defend companies they generally agree with. And now, of course, the senior community manager for Remedy Entertainment, Vita Starchevik, called for bigots to be removed from gaming communities in the wake of Firewalk Studios' Concord being boycotted and shut down due to low sales. I don't even agree with this. I don't think that the game was boycotted. I just don't think that anybody really wanted to play it. I even gave it a chance. I live streamed the open beta, and it was really just a terrible experience. A lot of the moves were really bad. I did not like any of the characters the way that I like characters in, say, Overwatch, their direct competition. I thought that the pricing model was actually good, but when you want to charge people $40 up front when all of your competition is free to play, you still have to give them an enhanced experience. And we didn't get that here. I, yes, would rather pay an upfront cost for a game instead of battle passes and loot boxes and microtransactions, but it still did not provide a good amount of content for the price. It says, though, Nico Partners Director of Research Daniel Ahmed initially reacted to the game being shut down, saying the comments around Concord from right-wing gamers shows the power of collective self-deception. With individuals like this, if you are not with them, you are against them. We see this happen all the time. He is basically saying, oh, all of the right-wing gamers, meaning anybody criticizing this title. Now, of course, I personally do not talk about politics on my channel. I don't talk about, who I'm going to vote for or who I have voted for in the past. That's just not the way that I do things. But individuals like this would label me right-wing. And hey, if I have to be labeled right-wing in order to save the gaming industry, I'm fine with that. I do not care. You can label me whatever you want. Clearly, we've already been labeled sexists, racists, bigots, but it's important to point out that anybody on the left who disagrees with them will instantly call you right-wing. It's really pathetic. He continues by saying, if you say delusional stuff about DEI enough times and build a conspiracy-focused narrative, they start seeing that false narrative everywhere. Individuals like this hate to admit the fact that, yes, there are DEI initiatives within the video game industry, within every industry right now. It's plastered on companies' web pages. It's plastered on so many, people's social media as well. They put their pronouns, they talk about how they want to, save people, and in the gaming industry, like Take This, right? They talk about how, they want to help people that are, struggling with mental health in the gaming industry, but then they basically just beg for money, and it shows that it was one big grift. Of course, people like this, though, are not individuals you can have discussions with. Unfortunately, Khalif Adams said, prune all your gardens, push out bad actors, prepare your teams for current conversation zeitgeist, give your community and social teams autonomy and resources to battle against toxicity, aka push anybody you disagree with out of the gaming industry, which of course is disgusting. Even if I do not like people, even if I do not like their opinions, I always say that they should be able to have a platform, because at the end of the day, if I'm on social media, you should be allowed on social media too. Unless you are breaking the terms of service, unless you are breaking the rules, there should be no problem with you having a platform. But people like this want individuals like me and you erased from the internet. And now Vita, who of course worked on Alan Wake 2, responded to Adams writing what he said, but also uplift the good eggs, protect and support those who need it, basically just vouching for gatekeeping. Twitter has never been this full of accounts who are peddling hate 24/7, but it's still where a lot of good parts of game communities happen. Prune your gardens and let flowers grow. In a subsequent post, she added, getting bigots out of your communities is a band-aid and not a permanent solution. Modeling desired behaviors and championing the kinds of community members you want to be the majority in your community takes effort and time. Start early, practice often, small steps are steps too. I just cannot agree with anything that she is saying. She's saying that there are so many accounts peddling hate 24/7, but with the state of the industry, it is hard to talk about positive things because there isn't a lot of positivity. I, of course, yes, think a lot of very amazing games still released. Don't get me wrong, this year we've gotten Shadow of the Erdtree, Astrobot just came out and it's got a lot of good attention, Rise of the Ronin. There are titles that are launching, do not get me wrong. I loved Black Myth Wukong, I loved Stellar Blade, but there is a lot of negative, games coming out, a lot of bad games coming out. There are a lot of people within the industry like this who are making it hard to support these companies, and they're making it hard to say, yeah, you know what? The gaming industry can be saved. I want games to be saved. I absolutely love video games. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love so many of the franchises that these companies have. But on the flip side, I don't want to support individuals that are going to constantly call me a racist or a sexist or a bigot simply for criticizing a video game. It's like how people get mad when you say, oh my God, this fictional female character is attractive. Oh my God, you're sexualizing her. Yeah, she's a fictional character. What does it matter? She's not a real person. People like this just do not care about allowing individuals a space to communicate. And I think that that truly is so sad. Even if you disagree with someone, they have a right to voice their opinion and they should not be silenced. But that's how people like this work. They don't care about individuals with opinions that are different from theirs. But of course, she's probably really salty because her game failed. Alan Wake 2 still has not made a profit. Apparently, it hasn't even made its budget back, and this is the power of gamers. We are willing to speak with our wallets. I had been looking forward to Alan Wake 2 for years. People had been waiting almost a decade for this sequel to come out, and it was a disappointment. And a big part of that was Sweet Baby Inc.'s affiliation. We did not know exactly what they did or how they altered it, but we do know they had sunk their claws into it, and that's sad to see. And Alan Wake 2 was a game that released, right before Gamergate 2 truly began, because it really kicked off with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but that is when people actually started paying attention to narrative consultation companies and recognized the patterns of their work and the things that they are altering in video games. So yeah, right now we have a slew of people melting down. We have this Remedy community manager. We have Khalif Adams, who's a quote positivity peddler, even though he constantly peddles people to be deplatformed. And then we have Daniel Ahmed, an analyst, all coming out and attacking anybody that is, praising Concord's failure. And they're basically saying that we should all be removed from the internet. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.